What's going on, YouTube? Um, I'm back with another video. Um, you know, in the midst of this NFL trade deadline with Chase Young going to the 49ers and Leonard Williams getting traded to the Seahawks from the Giants, we got a little little NBA news. I believe in the middle of the night. I was going to cover this yesterday, but I figured I would just do this before the game starts. And, I was going to do this while making a Mikal Bridges video that I was planning on doing actually today, but this James Harden thing got in the way. So I don't really want to talk about this trade. As a Clippers fan, I just want to talk about how I feel about this, man. To be honest, I don't really know, man. We all know what James Harden is capable of, at least in his prime years. I believe he's 33, 34 something years old. I don't know, man. This is just honestly just a real mess. We keep getting rid of all of our draft picks for these old ass players, man. Well, not that Paul George was old by that time. He still had a little bit left in the tank at that time, but now it's just I don't know, man. James Harden, he's already as injury prone as it is with that hamstring injury. And the fact that the fact that he forced his way out of Philly was really surprising for me, because I honestly thought he was gonna dwindle out of the NBA, or, at least get I thought he would get at least somewhat blackballed in the NBA. We've seen the NBA do this with Carmelo Anthony and maybe DeMarcus Cousins, Isaiah Thomas, not two-time NBA champion from the Detroit Pistons, Isaiah Thomas, but little Isaiah, Boston Celtics, Isaiah Thomas. I don't want to say they've been blackballed, but they pretty much just dwindled out of the NBA. Not that many teams didn't really want those type of guys. Or at least in Melo's case, he got blackballed according to what my man Basketball Facts said on his old channel, that there was rumors that him and LeBron had somewhat of an argument, and that somewhat made Melo get blackballed into the NBA, or blacklisted, I should say. One of those things. But man, I'm just surprised the fact that James Harden has forced his way out of 3 teams that I believe he wanted to go to. Well, and actually he wanted to go to Philly first, but then he went to Brooklyn and then Philly. And then now he's on my team with the Clippers. Look, this would have been great 5 or so years ago if we had, 2018 James Harden, MVPG, at least when he was in the MVP race. Russ, Kawhi, that would have been great, man. But I don't know, man. This is just one. I'm still kind of mad that the fact that we traded away Shai Gilgeous-Alexander for Paul George, and to be honest, there wasn't really nothing successful yet as far as in that trade. We still haven't won a championship. We still haven't. The team hasn't been healthy, let alone. And we've only made to 1 conference finals, and that was, don't get me wrong, PG did what he had to do carry us to the Western Conference Finals for the first time. But that, I mean, it just really, we haven't really produced anything since that trade. And to be honest, I'm still kind of mad that the fact that we got rid of such a great and young talent like SGA, one of the rising stars of today's league, you know? So, I mean, look, I just already know what the deal is with James Harden. For those who don't know, I like James Harden, right? I'm still somewhat of a fan of his, but the fact that he hasn't really take a backseat role, and the fact that he thinks he's worth max money and he still thinks he's an elite player. I mean, he still thinks he has elite status, which, I mean, from what that trade is, yeah, I mean, I guess he is somewhat still elite in this league. But with all, I mean, you already got 4 guys that are almost pretty much out of their prime. 3 of them are injury prone as hell. We already know what the deal with Kawhi. For us Clippers fans, man, Paul George is the lesser of 2 evils, because at least he tries to come back. And oh my god, man. We got rid of most of our assets with all these draft picks. We got rid of some shooting. All this for James Harden, man. I mean, there is really no excuse for this team to not lose. There really isn't. I don't know what's going to happen with this team, man. I don't know. I know that I don't expect this team to be all the way healthy. I mean, Kawhi's going to be missing some games. PG's going to be missing some games. James Harden, I damn sure know, is going to be missing some games. Russ is probably going to be, I want to say, the only guy that is really going to just be 100% healthy, or at least be consistent and not miss any games. Let me see. And I mean, who else do we got? I mean, we got PJ Tucker in that trade. Whoop-de-doo, I guess. I mean, he does give us some defense. I'll say that. I will say that James Harden gives us some versatility, just like Russ. But the fact that we are now the oldest team in the NBA, it's like, look, we already seen this happen with the Clippers. Like, you're telling, I mean, with the Lakers, you guys mean to tell me you haven't learned your lesson with that, or at least saw what was going on in the same building as us? Like, come on, guys. Like, what are we doing here? You know? It just doesn't make sense to me, man. And to be honest, after seeing that trade, I honestly wanted to go back to being a Spurs fan. I mean, it's been what, 3-4 years now with this whole PG and Kawhi thing, and we still haven't produced, not even, we only produced one Western Conference Finals out of that whole bullshit. You know, no championship to show for it. But I don't know. Any final thoughts on what I got to say? I mean, you know, Godspeed. That's all I got to say. Godspeed to this team, man. If the Clippers curse is not so real as for what us Clippers fans think it is, then we better show for it at least a championship for this, man, for this season. No excuses. But anyway, I'm out.